Good morning, students. Welcome to another Social Studies BJC review class. My name is Mistress Raquel Brown Evans. Before we get started in today's lesson, I am going to invite you to get some materials for this class. I want you to quickly get a hold of a writing book. Naturally, a writing book goes along with a pen or a pencil. And if you own an atlas, I also ask that you get it and bring it in front of the table so that we can begin today's lesson. I am going to give you a minute or two to get those materials in preparation for our class. So once again, you are getting a hold of a social studies writing book if you have one, or any writing book. And you are also going to get an atlas if you have one. If you do not have an atlas, do not worry about it. Whatever information you need, I will show you that information on the screen. While you are getting those materials, I want to give a shout out to the great S.C. McPherson Junior High School. Yes, I said it, the great S.C. McPherson. Hello, everyone. I'm going to be fair, so I want to also give a shout out to H.O. Nash. Is anyone watching from H.O. Nash? What about A.F. Adley Junior High School? Make some noise if you are a student at that school. Of course, I cannot leave out my Family Island crew. Is anyone watching from Crooked Island High School? Make some noise. What about Ellen Coakley? Welcome, Ellen Coakley. Is there anyone watching from our private schools? We also welcome you to this BJC review class. You should have your materials by now. So let's proceed with our lesson. Today, our topic is landforms, with particular focus on islands, archipelagos, and keys. I am going to play a video and I invite you to watch carefully.
From his sleep and slumbering, rise to look around and smile. He said, Ambrosius, we don't have much time. Beautification and the realization, history of the now. We are the continents of the west, water off the island, where the trees grow bigger in this fertile soil. Sometimes I often wonder if there is any earth. Oh, my Andra, she makes, and oceans we wake. Oh, my Andra, she makes, and oceans we wake. Oh, yeah. No. Right. The big party and all the people celebrating, happy and so jolly, celebrating the big party. East, west, north, and south. They coming from all about. When the people work together, they join in hand baby.
Do you know the name of the artist who actually wrote that song, Oh My Andros? Elon Moxie is correct. I just love that song by Elon Moxie. Again, Oh My Andros. Now, I want you to think for a minute. Which landform is Andros? Did you think that Andros is an island? You are absolutely correct. Once again, our topic for today focuses on islands, keys, and archipelagos. In our last lesson, we concentrated on continents and countries. When you would have left that lesson, you would have had a clear understanding as to what a continent is, and you remember that it is the largest of all land masses. And we would have also discussed what a country is, and you know that a country is an area of land that has been divided from surrounding area by land. In today's lesson now, our objectives include taking a careful look once again as to what are natural features. We also discussed that last class, so we're going to recall it in today's lesson. We are going to explain the meaning of the terms island, key, and archipelago. We're going to locate islands and archipelagos using a map of the world. And finally, our extended exercise, you are going to actually write a poem or compose a jingle, or you're going to write 3 facts about any island in the Bahamas. Are you ready? Let's continue with our lesson. You know I was going to put up my social studies vocabulary words. They are very, very important in understanding what our lesson is all about. What words do you think I am going to project? Did you say island? Of course, I must write that word down, island, yes. What is the other word you think I'm going to put up? Key, absolutely correct. And our final word is archipelago. Now, if you do not know how to spell these words, I invite you at the end of our lesson to practice spelling these very simple words indeed, and ensure that you can in fact spell them by the time I speak with you in our next lesson. I like to find out from my students, what do they know about the topic being discussed? And as always, I know that you know so much information. So I'm just going to do a little check at this point. I want you to think for a minute about the word island. What is it that you know about islands? Did you think that an island is land that is surrounded by water? If you thought that, you know that you are correct. When you heard the word island, what else came to your mind? I know that someone thought that Andros is an island. I especially think that all of the students on Andros thought about that point. And you are again correct. We listened to a video earlier on that was sung by Bahamian artist Elon Moxie so beautifully. Oh my Andros. Yes, and we established from then that Andros is an island. Let's look at the lesson in more detail. In particular, let's look at the word island. Do you see the picture? You see the land formation, and you see water going completely around. So the definition of an island is a piece of land completely surrounded by water. We've been talking about Andros all day, and so I must state emphatically that Andros is the largest island in the Bahamas. I think that every student across this archipelago knows that information. But just in case, Andros is not a continent. Andros is an island, the largest, in fact, in the Bahamas. I am now going to show you a map of the Bahamas. And I remind you that when our BJC examination comes around, you are going to be looking at a blank map of the Bahamas. You will get 10 questions that you have to answer based on that map. But if you do not know the names of these islands, you cannot get those questions correct. And so we are going to do a test right now to see how well do you know these islands by shape. And if at the end of this exercise, you find that you know only 10 or less, you know that you're going to have to do so much more studying. So let's begin with the letter A. You can see my cursor. My cursor is going around the letter A at the top, the northern part of the map. The letter A is pointing at what island of the Bahamas? Did you say Grand Bahama? That is correct, Grand Bahama. What about the letter B? That is right next to Grand Bahama. Did you say Abaco? Then you are also correct. The letter C. The island is, drum roll, Bimini. What about the letter D? You know it, the Berry Islands. And the letter E, the name that we have been calling all morning. The letter E is Andros. Some people say the big yard. Yes, you know all about crab festivals happening in Andros. Yes. And the letter F. So many students live on this island. It is New Providence. And the letter G. Do you know the island at the letter G? It is Eleuthera. Yes, very good, Eleuthera. If you want to go to the Pineapple Festival, this is the place you have to go to, Eleuthera. And the next letter is H. This is Exuma and the Exuma Cays. Yes, you are correct. The next letter is I. Some children say it is shaped like a booth. I don't know what it's shaped like to you, but what is the letter I showing? Cat Island. Man, when I think about Cat Island, I think about rake and scrape. What do you think about? Some people say flour cake. I still think Crooked Island has the best flour cake, but you know what? Cat Island, yours tastes good too. And let's go to the letter J. The letter J is Ragged Island. Yes, Ragged Island. And the letter K. The letter K is Long Island, the beautiful Long Island. What about the letter L? The letter L is pointing to Rumkey. And the letter M. This is the place that we teach you that is Columbus's first landform. And that place is San Salvador. The letter N. The letter N is the tranquil, peaceful Crooked Island. And the letter O. The letter O is referring to Auckland's. Auckland's. This was a place that was once very popular for cascarilla bark. Let's look at the letter P. The letter P is pointing to the island of Mayaguana. And finally, the letter Q is pointing at Great Inagua. From that exercise, how many did you get right? Did you know all of the islands of the Bahamas? Did you know all 17 of them that I called just now? If not, remember what I said. It is time to study because you are going to need this information in preparation for the BJC examination. And I know that you are going to get all right on your map of the Bahamas skills. I am cheering for you. Again, this is a map of the Bahamas showing all of the islands that we just mentioned. Now, as I discussed the islands just now, there are one or two of them that I actually gave some additional information about. I want to look at what these islands, some of these islands are most popular for in more details. So let's discuss this information together. How well do you know the Bahamas? For this exercise, I am going to require that you take out your writing box and I want you to quickly jot these questions down. So take out your writing box and write this information, and where you see the blank spaces, I want you to fill out the correct information. For example, it says island known for sports fishing. Island known for sports fishing. So which island do you think is most popular for sports fishing? I want you to write the name of that island right in that spot. If the assignment is clear, I want you to begin quickly. I can only give you about 5 minutes to complete that. And then we will go through the answers together. If you do not know the answers, it is okay to ask a guardian or a sibling. Yes, I think your neighbor might be too far away to shout out the question to your neighbor and hear the response. But if not, then try that. Let's see how many of these answers you can get. If you are just joining us, you are looking at a screen, and on that screen is information about the islands of the Bahamas. Students are now writing that information down in their writing books, and they are also filling in the blank spaces with the correct answers. You have 3 more minutes remaining. Write quickly, you're almost there. Go, 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 go. If you are finished, we are now going to fill in the correct answers together. Which island in the Bahamas is most popular for sports fishing? Did you think Bimini? Then you are correct. Now, if you thought Andros, I must admit that Andros is also very popular when it comes to sports fishing. But the island that is most popular for sports fishing is Bimini. The world's third largest barrier reef is found on this island. This island also has so many beautiful blue holes. What is the name of the island? Andros is correct. The second largest island in the Bahamas, the only place where the Bahama parrot is found. It is also known for boat building, especially during the times of the Loyalists. That's from grade 8. Again, this is our BJC review. So the information that I will be sharing in our classes, even the ones to come, can come from anywhere on the curriculum from grade 7 through 9. So the answer for that island is Abaco. The highest point in the Bahamas from roll. I know who would have gotten this for sure. All of the students in Cat Island has this answer down pat. The highest point in the Bahamas is called Mount Alvernia. It is 206 feet above sea level. And of course, the island is Cat Island. How well did you do in that assignment? But we're not done. We're not done. You don't have to write these. But let's just see if you also know this information. A chain of 365 keys and islands in the central Bahamas. What is the name of that island? Exuma. This island is known for pineapple plantations. It also has the glass window bridge. What's the name of that island? Eleuthera is correct. This island is the third largest in the Bahamas, a bird sanctuary for flamingos. Did you think Inagua? Then you are correct again. In addition to Inagua, this is the only other island to keep its original Arawak name. You remember, the Arawak in the Bahamas were called the Lucayans. So this island has its original Arawak name. What is the name of that island? Mayaguana. This island is Columbus's first landfall. The island is San Salvador. Good job. Let's continue with our lesson. Now, let's take a look at islands around the world. Once again, you are also required to know these islands for the BJC examination. So you are going to be given an opportunity to write them down. The largest island in the world, located at A, is Greenland. Do you know the name of the island just below Greenland? It is Iceland. What about the island located at sea? Newfoundland is correct. I bet you had to think about that answer a little. Now I know that you're not pausing when it comes to this island. This island is Cuba. This island right here, I have seen come up on the BJC examination so many times. The island right here next to Africa is Madagascar. And the island right below India. Last class we talked about India. India is a country. And India as a country is located on the continent of Asia. We learned that last class. The island that is right next to India right here is Sri Lanka. Now, what about this island that is G? This has also come up on the BJC examination so many times. This is Borneo, as well as H. is New Guinea. I've seen New Guinea many times as well. Now we go to I. I, we discussed last class. I, as you know it, is also a country. And so the letter I is referring to Japan. Japan is also an island. The letter J. The letter J is referring to Tasmania. And I cannot tell you how many times I've seen this last letter, this last island in particular, come on the exam. The island that is at K is New Zealand. I want you to take a minute or two and should be finished writing down that information. By the way, the band that you heard playing earlier on as you wrote the information of the slide was from a very popular school. Now, I want you to continue listening to the lesson, and I will tell you at the end of the lesson which school band you actually heard playing. So you have to continue listening if you want to know who was making such beautiful music while you wrote that information down. Let's continue on by discussing key. If you look at my animation, you see landform and you see water surrounding it. But we have already discussed islands. And so what landform do you think this must be? It is very small. It is a key. A key is a small island. Do you know some keys in the Bahamas? What about Staniel Cay? Staniel Cay is in the Exomas. What about Chubkey? I know you know about Chubkey. You've heard, haven't you? What about Long Cay in the southern Bahamas? Yes, there are so many keys that are found in our Bahamas. I want to quickly talk about now what is an archipelago. The Bahamas is an example of an archipelago. Do you know what it is? An archipelago is a group or chain of islands. If you look at our picture, our animated picture again, you can see so many smaller landforms, and each of them is surrounded by water. And so an archipelago is a group of islands, just like the Bahamas, or a chain of islands that are surrounded by water. I want to show you another example of an archipelago, and this word comes up again, Japan. We also have the Japanese archipelago. So not only is Japan an island, a country, but we are also talking now about the Japanese archipelago. Do you know some other archipelagos that are found on our world's map? What about the Philippines? Here is an image of the Philippines. another chain or group of islands. And right here, you are now looking at the Malay archipelago. The Malay archipelago are the islands that you see in green. Now let's see if you can remember the names of these archipelagos once you are looking at an image of the world map. Once again, the image is also blank. Again, the BJC examination will only have a blank world map. And so you must know these archipelagos by position or location. Number 1 is pointing at which archipelago? You know it, the Bahamas. The beautiful, beautiful Bahamas. Oh, I love my country. Do you? Number 2 is pointing, this my cursor's right here. Number 2 is pointing at the Japanese archipelago. What about number 3? Which other archipelago did I name? The Philippines. Number 4 is pointing at an archipelago that I did not mention. By the way, if you can multitask, you can jot these archipelagos down as we discuss them in your writing books. Number 4 is the Solomon Islands. The Solomon Islands. And we talked about the archipelago that is located at number 5. Do you remember that one? Shout out the answer so that your parents can hear you. Malay archipelago. And there is one that is located near North America, right at the left or the western side of the page. You can see right here where my arrow is. And that archipelago is the Alexanders. Very good. So it's important that you know the names of these archipelagos for sure. As you take a look at your atlas, you can write the names of additional archipelagos as you see them in your atlas. But the archipelagos that I have mentioned are very, very important. So I advise you to be sure to know this information before the BJC examination. We're almost at the conclusion of our lesson. Now, I know that you are looking at the screen and the screen is saying homework and you are going, OMG. I can't believe she is going to give us a homework assignment. Of course, I am going to give you a homework assignment. I am a teacher. That is what we do. So here's what you are going to do. Very, very, very simple. Write a 2 stanzas poem. See, that's very simple. Only 2 stanzas. That's almost like 2 paragraphs, 2 4-line paragraphs. Or if that is not what you prefer, and you are a musical learner, you like to sing and you like to beat your drum or tap on something, you can compose a jingle, make up a jingle or make up a rap about the information that we've discussed. And what have we been discussing? We have been discussing islands, keys, and archipelagos. As a matter of fact, you can just choose one. Just focus on islands, or just focus on keys, or just focus on archipelagos. Or you can be creative and include all of them in your song or your jingle. Now, when you finish writing this song and you already learned the lyrics for it and you learned how you are going to sing this song, I know what you are thinking. You are saying to yourself, well, how is Mrs. Evans going to hear this song? Let me tell you what we are going to do. When you are finished writing either the poem or the song, you are to call your sisters or your brothers or your moms or your dads. Call them, or an aunt or an uncle, any guardian, and say, listen, Listen to this beautiful poem that I have written. I will listen to this beautiful song, and I want you to begin to sing it out or to say it if it's a poem to a family member. I am sure they are going to be so pleased with hearing what you have to say. It is going to be refreshing, I assure you. Now, if none of that is what you like to do, then you can choose to go down the path of writing 3 facts about any island in the Bahamas. Now, you may not have access to an internet, or perhaps you do, whatever, if I'm not sure, but if you do not have access to an internet, all you have to do is ask someone. I assure you that there is someone near you who knows 3 facts about any island in the Bahamas. How about New Providence? You live on New Providence. I know you know 3 things that are true about New Providence. What about those of you who live on Andros? I know that you can tell me 3 facts about Andros. Is there anyone who is watching this presentation from Inagua? Yes, tell me 3 facts about Inagua. See, the assignment was so very simple. Very, very simple. And so we are at the end of our lesson, but I cannot conclude this lesson without reminding you of our social studies vocabulary words. You know it. And the first word I am putting up on the screen is an island. We talked about an island. We said that an island is any piece of land that is completely surrounded by water. If it only has water on 3 sides, it is not an island. As you continue to listen to our presentation on our topics, you will know next class what the name of land that has water on 3 sides is. So if it's 3 sides, it's not an island. It has to be completely surrounded by water. The largest island in the world, we mentioned it, is Greenland. And the largest island in the Bahamas is the wonderful, exciting Andros. All of the Androsians should be making some noise at this point. Any land that is smaller than an island, we call it a key. A key. And notice the spelling of that word, C-A-Y, is the landform. If you are thinking K-E-Y, that is something that you use to open doors. And so you always have to look at words in relation to its context. And so we're talking about landform, so the correct spelling is C-A-Y. Our final word is archipelago. And we established in class that an archipelago is what? A group of islands, which is the same as saying a chain of islands. And an archipelago that is very, very familiar to us, of course, is the Bahamas. If you are writing that information because perhaps you missed it earlier on in the lesson, then you can take just another minute to quickly jot that down because we are at the end of our lesson. It is always a pleasure to speak with you, even though I can't see you. I still feel your presence. And so I pray that you have an awesome day today as you continue to review and prepare for the social studies BJC examination. Now, if you are my students, you know that as a teacher, I like when my students get A. reach for the highest score that you can reach for. And so our goal in these review exercises is to achieve the A on the BJC examination. Have a wonderful day.
Giant wave from the sleep and slumbering. Rise to look around and smile. Said I'm oceans, we don't have much time. Purification and the realization. Whispering of the night. We are the continents of the west. Water off the island. Where the trees grow bigger in this fertile sun. Sometimes I often wonder if there is any earth. Oh my Andra, she makes, 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 and ocean we make. Oh my Andra, she makes, she makes, she makes.